All right, so last one in the set of three. So we asked you guys to factor with the greatest common factor. The leading coefficient is 1, and the leading coefficient is 1. So now, obviously, we run into the case on what if it's not 1, because it's kind of a big possibility. So first, always check greatest common factor. Does this work or does this not work? Obviously, since I'm asking this question, it is not going to work. And then you'll fall into one of these options right here. Will the leading coefficient be equal to 1 or not equal to 1? Now, one thing I've had a bunch of people ask me, -1 is not equal to 1. So if your leading coefficient is negative x squared, that means it is -1x squared, which is not equal to 1. So be careful on that. Now, so we've done greatest common factor. We've done leading coefficient is equal to 1. Now let's do it when the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. So you guys will see questions like this where it says factor 3x squared plus x minus 2. Like, say that's your problem. This number right here is not equal to 1. But remember, first, is there a GCF? Always look for the GCF first. Yay or nay? In this case, no. Okay. Now, then is the leading coefficient 1 or not 1? In this case, it is not 1. Now, when this happens, it's kind of similar to the Xbox method I did in the last video, but I call it the umbrella method because here are the steps. First, you want to multiply these two together. And whatever this coefficient is right here in the middle, so in this case it's 1, you want to bring this down. Hey, look at that. It makes a little umbrella. Is it starting to rain outside? I don't know. It might be starting to rain outside. Okay. So now, once you draw the umbrella, it's almost just like the last one. You bring this first number right here. So this is I'm going to add to these. And then what is 3 times -2? So I'm going to bring that number, -6, right here. So you want to multiply these. Okay, and then I'm going to figure out, okay, what two numbers add to 1 and multiply to -6? What are those numbers? 3, -2. Okay, now this is where the new part comes in. The second new part is after you do this part, most of you guys would be like, oh, okay, cool. My answer is x plus 3 times x plus 2, and I'm done. Be very careful because you have a leading coefficient that is not equal to 1. So you have to take it a step further, which in this case, what we do is we do bottoms up. So right here, we're going to take my leading coefficient and we're going to put it underneath both of these terms. And then we are going to simplify both of them as much as we can. So 3 over 3 can simplify to 1 over 1. Okay, that's simplified. -2 over 3 simplifies to nothing. It can't be simplified. -2 over 3. Okay, so with that being said, now here's what we do. Here's that bottoms up part. This number right here, these two bottom ones here and here, actually I'll do a circle. These are your coefficients. So for this term right here, this would be 1x plus 1. And for this term right here, this would be 3x minus 2. And this is your factored form. Now, obviously, for that left one right there, we can write it as x plus 1 times 3x minus 2. So remember this part right here, that bottoms up piece. That's the most important piece you guys can remember on this, bottoms up. Okay, let's do a practice problem together. Which one's more fun? Let's do this one. Now, let's change it up. Let's do this one first. Okay. Greatest common factor. GCF. Is there any in this one? No. So, what's my leading coefficient? Leading coefficient is 4, which is not equal to 1, which means I need to use the umbrella. So I'm going to bring down this 8. I'm going to multiply those together. And then that would be -20. All right, so what adds to 8 and multiplies to -20? So let's see, that's going to be 10 and 2. But 10 times 2 is positive 20, which means one of these need to be a negative. This one. Okay, 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. 10 plus negative 2 is positive 8. Sweet, we're in there. Okay, now here's that first part. That leading coefficient needs to be underneath both of these. And now we need to simplify as much as we can. All right, so 10 over 4. What goes into both 10 and 4? 2. So that would be 5 over 2. Okay, we're good. And then this would be negative 1 over 2. Okay, now that we have those, we're done. Okay, so let's take this first answer. That would be 2x plus 5. And take this one right here. And this would be 2x minus 1. All right, looking good. Now again, if you guys want to check to make sure you guys have the correct solution, multiply those out. If you get the original question, you are good. If not, you did something, you messed up somewhere. And remember, practice this part right here. You got to practice getting these factors. That's by far the most challenging piece. All right. Now, okay. Now, I want you guys to do this one right here. Pause the video and work it out. Okay? All right. So, yep. Okay, so, sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. Okay. Multiply those together. Bring this down. So let's see, negative 7, add, and 12, multiply. Looks like it's going to be 4 and 3, but negatives, cool. Divide by 4, or over 4, cannot be simplified, the negative 3 over 4, so that's good. Can be simplified to negative 1 over 1, which means we have x minus 1 is this first part, and 4x minus 3 is that second part. So this solution, x minus 1 times 4x minus 3. Okay, so these are more along the lines of just the steps on how to do it and a practice on the computation on it. Make sure, so practice these, you guys. Without this, the application problems are going to be pretty tough. All right, so that's it in this set. So if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. And other than that, though, I'll talk to you guys later.